There are so many lessons to learn from kids. I could actually make a pretty extensive list, but today I'm excited to mention just 5 that have been on my mind this past week as we have been vacationing with some extended family. Hey, I'm Cassie. I am passionate about finding our mojo as parents and just learning to work with our kids instead of against them. I have 3 kids of my own, an 8-year-old daughter, and then 2 boys, ages 5 and 2. We live in the United States, and my grandpa, who lives across the country, recently planned a little family reunion just a few hours away from where me and my mom and my brother and my sister all live. So we all took a 3-hour drive to enjoy an entire week at 2 connected condos right on a lake. So our group was 9 adults and 7 kids, and there were really no plans or structure, so we got to just kind of go with the flow day after day. And it was super nice, even though that's not how I would normally travel. I'm just way too uptight for that. I really enjoyed being able to just live in the moment. It was really good for me. So that type of thing does not come naturally to me. And as I spent so much time watching all these kids, there wasn't a ton to do. We were just relaxing and just, going about our day. So there was a lot of time to just sit and watch all these little kids. And there were so many lessons to learn from kids. So today I want to mention 5 of them. Lesson number 1 is to embrace your curiosity. There is nothing quite like a child's curiosity. It's limitless, isn't it? All the questions they ask, the compelling need to explore, the infamous asking why, right? Every time you have an answer, next comes the why, always. So all of us as a group were playing on this fun little swing set playground area on some grass. It's basically like this lawn that the condos had. And before I know it, all of the kids have gone beyond the grass down, and they were all like kind of squatting down, looking at what looked like dirt and rocks. And as more of us adults gravitated over, kind of following their lead beyond the grass, we realized what they had found. Those weren't thousands of little rocks in this area. There were thousands of little shells. I was stunned and so grateful that our kids' curiosity and exploration led them over here to find this beautiful discovery. There are so many moments in life when you discover hidden secrets or hidden joys that are just right under our noses, but without that curiosity, we miss out on them so often. So the 2 takeaways from this for us as parents is, first of all, allow and encourage our child's curiosity as much as possible, and also let's try to be more curious ourselves. So much can be learned and experienced by sharing this with your child. Lesson number 2 is about finding your happy place. What is so cool about kids is they know where their happy place is. Even a brand new baby knows their happy place. Hold him in a certain way and he will scream his head off. Hold him in the right way and he's totally happy and calm, right? And we all know every baby likes to be held a little differently, right? So my kids and their cousins at this lake ranged from age 1-year-old to 10 years old, and each one of them knew their happy place. For one, it was rubbing mud in his hair. For another, it was swinging on the swing. For my oldest, it was simply being in the presence of her cousins that made her so happy. For my 5-year-old, his happy place was being inside, away from all the other kids. And for my 2-year-old, it was sitting on a boat. He was just so content out there all day long on the lake, just sitting on a boat, drifting around in the water, whether someone was riding and paddling or whether he was just sat on there and just floating around. He was so happy. So maybe I'm the only one who struggles with this, but it is really hard for me as an adult to, number one, know what my happy place is, and number two, to honor that piece of information. We're just so out of touch with ourselves that we don't even recognize what makes us happiest, or we can't really identify what that would even feel like to find our happy place. Or let's say, even if we can identify it, are we really spending as much time as possible there? Or are we trying to just kind of fit the mold and be what we think we should be and doing the responsible thing and, all the things that we worry about as grown-ups, instead of just being comfortable in our own skin and trying to make that happen for us? If we're in our happy place more often, we will be better parents, don't you think? And just more enjoyable as a human being, really. So, some takeaways this week to work on. Think about your happy place. And if it's on some distant island, maybe come up with a secondary option that can be experienced in the comfort of your own home over and over again, like on a regular basis. So that's our takeaway from this lesson. Find our happy place and spend more time there as much as possible, because why not? And certainly try to do the same for your kid. Everyone will be so much happier if we know what makes us really happy and we try to spend more time doing that. Lesson number 3 is slower equals happier. Slowing down is a skill that I just don't have. When I get the most frustrated probably with my kids is when they're going slow. But guess what? That is sometimes the only speed that kids have is slow. Getting distracted, wanting to do it by themselves, struggling to master the zipper on their jacket or the laces on their shoes. We're in a hurry, there's things to do, places to go, people to see, and here they are taking their sweet, sweet time. The thing is, there is so much benefit to allowing yourself to slow down, allowing yourself to alleviate some of that stress and anxiety, and allowing yourself to be present and just savor the moment. So, to be kind and loving instead of rushed and grouchy is a gift to everybody. So this past week, my 2-year-old was always the first one to wake up in the morning, and because we were sharing a condo with my brother and his wife and their 2 little ones, I made the conscious effort to stay downstairs for a while until just going up and eating breakfast like we would normally do. Usually we wake up and we go straight upstairs to eat, but I really tried hard to wait, and so we had until about 7 is when I felt like, yeah, we can kind of be up and around. So he'd wake up between 6 and 6:30, and we'd have until about 7. So the 2 of us would just open his curtains, open the sliding door, and just sit together. We'd feel the cool breeze of the morning and watch the sunrise. And as we sat there, we could see the geese fly in, and they'd land on the lake and then kind of make their way up kind of onto the beach and then onto the lawn of the condo. We'd always see this family of deer pass through, kind of grazing on the trees and grass, and we'd listen to the birds chirping. And we did this day after day, and we were actually able to realize this was happening every morning. This is the way it went. The wildlife, they were all in a rhythm. And sitting and observing that day after day gave us the opportunity to notice and soak all of that in. This is one of my biggest takeaways of this whole list, is to consciously force myself to slow down, plan extra time so that rushing is actually a rare thing, and to catch myself whenever possible before saying the word hurry to my kids. That's something I'm really aware of now. Lesson number 4 is learning to laugh more. I can't even guess the amount of accumulated hours over the past week that there were kids laughing. Countless sessions of giggles or all-out side-splitting laughter. And isn't that so fun to listen to? We can probably all agree as grown-ups, we're just way too serious. I'll at least speak for myself that I take myself and everyone else way too seriously, laughing at ourselves, laughing at a situation, or even just allowing ourselves to participate and join in and acknowledge things that are funny and enjoyable. We actually know it's good for us to laugh. Did you know that? that's what comes to my mind. You actually experience physical changes in your body, like stimulating your heart and lungs and muscles and increasing endorphins. It can increase and then decrease your heart rate and blood pressure, which relaxes you and can actually stimulate circulation and help muscles relax. The benefits don't even stop there. There's actually some long-term benefits, like improving your immune system, relieving pain, coping with difficult situations, and improving your mood. Moral of the story, we all could use some more laughter in our lives. And if you have kids in your life at all, they could be your ticket to do this. Just notice all of the funny, cute things they do all day long, and you can even take it one step further and actually try to join in the fun and try to make them laugh. Life is so much more enjoyable if we can learn to laugh about things. The last lesson is honesty. Kids tell it like it is, and I love that about them. I will say this is probably the lesson that I personally, it just comes the most naturally to me, which is a good and bad thing. It might be better sometimes if I was a little bit less inclined to be super honest, but for better or for worse, that's just the way I am, and I do really appreciate that that's how kids are. I say that because I can trust their opinion and count on them to be honest if I'm asking them a question. And more importantly, I feel like we have so much to learn from them in their ability to verbalize what they need and work toward getting their need met. If someone's getting on their nerves, they're gonna tell them. And if that person doesn't stop, most likely the kid is gonna do something about it. And I think that is such a healthy place to be, owning your own feelings and taking life into your own hands to take care of yourself. So let's just all be a little more like that. Quit all this people pleasing and passive aggressive behaviors or comments and just own it. Of course, we all want to have a little more tact than, let's say, like a 4-year-old, but this principle is powerful. So try to focus on that a little bit extra this week if you want. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in it, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. It really means the world to me. Keep the comments coming. They totally make my day. Just keep being the amazing parent you are, and we'll see you next time.